So Darren, you opened the organic supermarket in Blackrock in Dublin just a couple of weeks ago, I believe. How's it all going for you?
It's been fantastic so far. We've had a really, really great response from the people in Blackrock. What we're actually trying to provide people is an alternative, Food in Ireland has become pretty much very boring, monotonous. You walk into the same old convenience stores and you've no choice.
Yeah.
So we kind of noticed that with the growth in the market in Ireland, 75% growth in organics over the last year, huge amount of farmers markets springing up all over the place, and people are really voting with their wallets and saying, hey, we want something different. So with that came with the concept of opening the first dedicated organic supermarket in Ireland. So we worked in conjunction with the Organic Trust, and we found out that it hadn't actually been done before. And after a year of research trying to find out if there was enough suppliers to be able to justify such a venture, we eventually came up and said, yep, you know what, there was. And there was demand out there, lack of supply. And one of the key factors was people shop in farmers markets at the weekend, but they can't replenish because, good, proper food only lasts for about 3 or 4 days without chemicals.
Sure. Well, is that the main difference between organic food and stuff that you'd buy in, like, say, Tesco's?
Well, there's a number of key differences. Number one, I suppose, would be it's healthier, and that's proven. There's more vitamins, minerals, and detoxifying antioxidants in it because it isn't treated. There's no additives, so there's no colorings, flavorings, or sweeteners of any product in our entire store. There's no pesticides, so the vegetables will look a little bit rustic, and there is a chance of some of them not being perfect. But again, there's no chemicals being treated. There's no GM, so we don't genetically modify crops. We kind of let Mother Nature design the food rather than us.
Yeah.
There's no antibiotics used in the animals, so there's no drugs. The highest standards are set by organics as well, because every operator in Ireland needs to be inspected once a year to ensure they're keeping to these standards. Animal welfare is a crucial part of the organic standard. And then at the end of the day, if you ask anybody, I suppose organic food simply tastes better. It's the way food was meant to be without enhancing it.
Well, I mean, all these chemical enhancers, they're as you said, they're not really good for this the body. Childhood obesity, for example, is on the up, and people are saying it's because of the increased salt levels in foods and convenience foods and stuff. I mean, what about kids? Would they like that kind of food?
Absolutely. We actually have a full range of baby foods and kids' foods with no chemicals, no saturated fats whatsoever. We have 150 healthy alternatives for kids. We even have baby smoothies, which apparently are quite nice.
No way, really?
Reportedly, of course. But, there's a choice out there that parents can actually decide what goes into a child's lunchbox.
Yeah.
You can have an organic apple that has no chemicals on it whatsoever, and we even sell organic crisps that have no saturated fat in them. There is alternatives there for the kids. And having fresh smoothies and fresh juices and preparing the meals yourself is really kind of the way forward. It's one of the biggest growth sectors. You also mentioned there as well the no salt and low salt. Within 2 days of opening our store, our no salt stock cubes sold out. So, I mean, there's huge consumer demand there and awareness to start reducing salt, fats and additives in our diet.
Okay, well, let's get down to the most important bit for people who like being bold, like treating themselves at the weekend, but they don't like kind of going OTT with eating too much sugar and that kind of jazz. You guys, I'm reading here that you guys actually supply wine. So, I mean, if you do have a little bit of a bold streak in you that you want to treat yourself, what's organic wine like?
Organic wine is fantastic.
Is it?
60 varieties of organic wine.
Wow.
Now, it's reported that it doesn't give you as much of a hangover. Of course, that's about down to drinking in moderation. But you know what? There's absolutely no chemicals used in the filtration process. The wine is the way wine was originally created by back Romans, Egyptian time. It's the proper way it should be. There's going to be a little bit of sediment in the bottom of the bottle, but that's a naturally occurring process.
Sure.
The reports back, within the first week and a half, we sold 150 bottles of wine.
Wow.
So, people are coming back for more. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, the sediment, like, that wouldn't put me off. I was in Turkey on holidays quite recently, and, all the bottles of wine over there actually do have that sediment in the bottom. And it actually, you don't even notice it. Unless someone was to point it out to you, you wouldn't notice it.
Exactly. And if you properly decant your wine and leave it for an hour, in a nice decanter, you won't even notice.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me a little bit about, the kind of produce that you actually have. So you have all the convenience, well, not convenience foods, you have all the vegetables, all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
Do you sell any convenience things? Do you sell sandwiches, that kind of jazz?
So at the moment, what we have is 1,500 products, which is, for a store to have 1,500 organic products under one roof, is an achievement in itself. What I've been basically trying to do is bring the farmers market indoors. So I've been going off and sourcing product from farmers markets, and I really have contacted local suppliers. To give you an example, we have a huge range. We've like cheeses from Cork, handmade Irish chocolates. We've got, as you mentioned, organic wine. We've got handmade organic pies, fruit and vegetables, full range of meats, dairy. You know, you name it, whatever you can buy in a normal supermarket, we've got an organic chemical-free version in ours, down to organic ketchup if you need it, you know. So, I mean, there is, you mentioned about convenience foods. We do sell fresh bread that's delivered every morning. We're working on trying to work with a supplier to get organic sandwiches. The one thing about organic sandwiches is they have to sell within the day and then they're gone. Yeah. So there hasn't been a supplier yet, and we're really actively seeking to try and get someone to supply us with it. We mentioned last week, the Irish Times did an article on us last week in the Times magazine, which was fantastic. And one of the things we mentioned, what I was struggling to find, was an organic soup supplier. And after the article went out on Sunday, I got a call from a girl who's quite willing to supply soup every morning, fresh to us. So from next Wednesday, we're going to start carrying soup.
Oh.
So I think I really want to expand the range. I want to keep it fresh. I want to keep it Irish. And I want to keep it healthy at the end of the day as well.
Well, the last thing that I wanted to ask you is probably the most important thing for people who are, you know, on a budget, a week-to-week budget. What's the price like in comparison to the likes of Tesco, Lidl, Aldi, those kind of places, Dunnes Stores, Super Quinn?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is an absolute key issue for me. What I've done is I've competitively priced everything in the store. Okay. Organic food doesn't have to be elitist. What I mean by that is you walk into a lot of the places and they're saying that organic food, it's like 65% more expensive than other food. That is, I don't need to put those sort of margins on the food. A couple of reasons. I'm buying from local farmers. For example, my fruit and vegetables is bought from Mark Michelle's farm in Wicklow. He tells me what's in season. He delivers it up fresh in the morning. So I don't have these huge transportation costs of, you know, flying produce like apples in from Israel or apples in from Wicklow. There's a huge difference to me in being able to get it from one side of the county to the other. So, A, low transportation costs, and B, supporting local farmers. So we cut out a lot of the middlemen. We don't have second producers, distributors, and everything else. So when we did our initial price comparison with the supermarkets, we actually work out cheaper than some of their non-organic fruit and vegetables. All of our chocolate and ranges like that is competitively priced with Tesco. So, I mean, a lot of the customer feedback has been, wow, I wasn't really expecting it to be that reasonable. I mean, even with organic wine under €10, it's quite an achievement. But I really think that with volume, I can bring organic food to the masses.
Fantastic. Listen, Darren, just tell everyone where you're based, just in case they do want to pop down and check out the organic supermarket.
Sure. We're based on Main Street, Blackrock, 2 doors to the left of the Wicked Wolf. Huge, bright green building. You can't miss us. We're open 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 8 to 8, Saturday, 11 to 7, and Sunday, 12 to 6.
Fantastic. And just tell me before you go, Darren, do you actually eat organic yourself, or are you bold and do you pay out on salt and sugar?
I have been eating, since I've opened 2 weeks ago, I've been eating 100% produce from the store because, A, I'm trying to test it all, but also I've been testing a little bit of the wine as well, just to ensure that I'm giving customers a truthful
reflection. Yeah, of course, market research.
So yeah, I mean, this business was born out of a passion for good food, so, you know, I'm eating it and drinking it.